Hello, everybody, and welcome to Non Sequitur News for May 28th, 2025. It's Season 4, Episode 148. I'm Mayor Watt. I run ohmTown.com. That's that site right there, but the sentient AI isn't here today. We normally go over these 10 articles, well, different 10 articles every day, but these 10 are Opera unveils Neon, Stuck Under an Armrest, Urchins overwhelm coral reefs, Lotions disrupt unhealthy cloud, Disneyland's 70th, get a year of Peacock Premium, an object in space ascending 2D, an object in space ascending 2 signals. I'm not even going to edit this. I don't like to edit stuff because I like transparency. I don't like hiding things. Anyway, Disney and Hulu campaign, a 43,000-year-old fingerprint, and T-Mobile apparently is secretly recording iPhone screens. That and maybe some more on the other side of this. All right, so hello everybody. Again, I am Mayor Watt, and usually I'm here with the co-host Sentient AI from the future. They're not available today. We're working on the time machine. The quantum singularities are slightly out of alignment, and that's disrupting the quantum mechanical engine that drives the Sentient AI's brain. It's kind of interesting, timey-wimey stuff. But anyway, first article is over in Smack Talk. It's one of the many channels over at ohmTown.com that you can subscribe to. All you have to do is sign up and sign in. Then you can select which ones you are interested in. We got 6 main categories, 50 channels underneath that. Looking at moving up to about 60 in the near future if we don't remove some. It really depends. But I use ohmTown for my information overload purposes. Keeps me sane. So this first article is over in Smack Talk, and it's about Opera that unveils Neon, a subscription-based AI browser that can build websites. In early April, Opera showcased AI Browser Operator, a first look at its vision for agentic or agent-based browsing in the AI era. Now the company is detailing what it actually looks like. Rather than just a feature, Operator is part of an entirely new browser called Neon, or Opera Neon. The article is put together by Marcus Mendez over at 9to5mac.com. And yeah, it says Opera's bet on the agentic web. Opera says Neon doesn't just help you browse, but actively performs tasks on your behalf. That includes researching, designing, even building things like websites, code snippets, reports, and games. So yeah, we're definitely in the world where AI is basically deciding our future information. Opera's new browser joins what's quickly becoming a crowded AI enhanced category alongside Microsoft Edge with Copilot, Chrome with Gemini, Perplexity's Comet, Brave with Leo, and Firefox's recent beta launch of link previews, and even Apple's more subtle AI-powered summaries tucked away within reader mode in Safari. So for now, though, there are more questions than answers. We'll follow up regarding this as time goes on, but there's some more over at 9to5Mac. Go and check it out. The next article is over in the mobile channel. Why was this guy's arm stuck under an armrest for 90 minutes? Well, a German guy went through a lot to get his AirPods back in an incident report. The volunteer fire department Lert, revealed that a man's hand got stuck under a train's armrest while he was trying to retrieve his lost AirPods. This happened on May 23rd, and upon their arrival, responders found a man in Westfalenbahn train traveling toward Braunschweig, and the man had his hand trapped under an armrest behind the seat in the side paneling and was unable to free himself. The article is by Paige Gawley over at Vice.com, who put the article together, and the deck statement is what I just got done saying, really. So instead, it became a complex rescue operation. This was because the person's hand had become so swollen that it could no longer be freed using simple rescue equipment. As such, emergency services had to dismantle a luggage rack, seats, and remove the armrest using a reciprocating saw. After that was complete, crews had a combination spreader that allowed them to open the side paneling wide enough that the person could finally be freed from his predicament, and it lasted 90 minutes plus. So after he was freed, the man was handed over to emergency services along with his AirPods, which had also been saved. Well, that's nice. I hope there's no bill. I think that's just an unfortunate incident. The next article is over on the Mobile Channel. Huge sea urchin populations are overwhelming Hawaii's coral reefs. This is really unfortunate. According to Joey Pitchford, North Carolina State University, which this article is over at phys.org. It's edited by Stephanie Baum and reviewed by Robert Egan. The author says here, the phenomenon is described in a new study that uses on-site field work and airborne imagery to track the health of the reef in Honolulu Bay, Hawaii. Overfishing is the main culprit behind the explosion in sea urchin numbers, said Kelly Van Wosick, PhD student in North Carolina State University Center for Geospatial Analytics and first author of the study, published in the journal PLOS1. Fishing in the areas has reduced the number of fish that feed on the urchins, and so the urchins are growing significantly, and they are consuming the coral reef. Reef growth is generally measured in terms of net carbonate production, which refers to the amount of calcium carbonate produced in a square meter over a year. Prior research in the 1980s found areas in Hawaii with carbonate production around 15 kilograms per square meter, which would signal a healthy growing reef, but the average net carbonate production of only 0.5 kilograms per square meter, indicating that the reef is growing very, very slowly. So by combining the data, the average coral reef across all depths was 28%, she said, but areas in shallow depths with even more erosion could need nearly 40% cover to break even. So they're basically dying. The reef is dying. So for the islands they surround, coral reefs like those in Honolulu Bay provide important coastal protection against erosion from waves, absorbing up to 97% of incoming wave energy. Yeah, the reefs are going to die to the coral or to the urchins because the fish are being wiped out, which normally predate on the urchins. All right, let's keep going. This next article is over in Non Sequitur News. Lotions disrupt potentially unhealthy cloud around your body. The application of personal care products such as fragrances and body lotions suppresses a potentially unhealthy human oxidation field that exists around our bodies, basically your stank. This zone, which was the subject of a paper by the same team published in Science in 2022, is created when oils and fats on skin react with ozone, an important oxidant in the indoor environment. Combined with emissions from cooking, cleaning, smoking, interior paint, rugs, furnishings, pretty much living your life, in which highly reactive compounds called hydroxyl radicals are present, has the potential to substantially affect indoor air quality and human exposure. Well, it's kind of no shit news. UC Irvine put the article together. It's posted over at futurity.org. The research appears in Science Advances. This zone, which was the subject of the paper in 2022, basically says that y'all have a stank. And in the paper, the researchers report that body lotions hinder the generation of key hydroxyl radical precursor by acting as a physical barrier between ozone in the air and squalene, a naturally occurring oil on skin. Why do I feel like I'm not pronouncing that correctly? I think like you exude squalene from sebaceous glands or something like that. Anyway, a naturally occurring oil on the skin. They also found that ethanol solvent in fragrances acts as a hydroxyl radical sink, which reduces the strength of the human oxidation field. So, yeah, ethanol, alcohol. So, the team took a unique approach to simulate concentrations of chemical compounds near humans in the indoor environment. We developed a state-of-the-art chemical model that can simulate reactions of ozone with human skin and clothing that can lead to the formation of hydroxyl radicals and semi-volatile organic compounds. Yeah, you just kind of have a little stink around you, y'all. All right, this next article is over in Wanted, Disneyland 70th, your guide to what to expect, plus what's new at Disney World. The article is over at cnet.com. I'm going to have to scoot up a little closer because I think that this mic doesn't really like what I'm doing, leaning back too far. I don't know. I'll even turn this up because I think the mic is getting quiet for some reason. Not sure why. I don't know. I think it's a beacon thing. Corrine Reichert over at cnet.com put the article together. And in this article, they say that they break down everything you need to know about the new new lands, rides, experiences, treats, shows, lounges coming to Disneyland and Disney World in 2025 and beyond. So what do they know? New events include a Mickey and Friends cavalcade, including Duffy and Shelly Mae. These are two that are like being brought back out. A projection show at It's a Small World called Tapestry of Happiness, as well as Miguel and Dante being added to the ride. A projection show at Carthay Circle, 70 new food and drink items, and new outfits for Mickey and Friends. The new World of Color show is hosted by Joy from Inside Out, with the other emotions manifesting movie moments from Pixar and Disney films, including The Incredibles, Turning Red, a Goofy movie, Encanto, and Tangled. And it also has a new pre-show starring the Muppets. Yay! Oh! And the Esplanade between Disneyland and California Adventure now has a 50-foot sculpture of Sleeping Beauty Castle with more decorations sprinkled throughout downtown Disney and Main Street, USA, as well as inside Disney's hotels. There's even 70th anniversary decor inside the Toy Story Midway Mania ride. So yeah, they're going to debut a new verse for It's a Small World, as well as a 3-minute film called The Last Verse in the Main Street Cinema. The movie celebrates the Sherman brothers who wrote the music for the ride. And there will also be new gallery exhibition, and there's a lot to do. There's a lot. This is just the beginning paragraph of this article. Disneyland's Avengers Campus is getting 2 more rides. The California Adventure gets a Coco attraction. It'll getting an Avatar area in Disneyland. Buzz Lightyear Space Ranger Spin gets an update, but I think Buzz Lightyear is just kind of lost. I don't know. Maybe they know more than I do, which they do. I guarantee it, but still, oof. Pixar's Cars Rally Race is going to be in existence, and Disney's Hollywood Studios is getting a Monsters Incorporated land. And there's more and more and more and more. So follow the link. Go over to the CNET article titled Disneyland's 70th, Your Guide on What to Expect plus What's New at Disney World. Let's keep going. The next article is over in Non Sequitur News. This is your last week to get a year of Peacock Premium for just $25. Peacock may fly under the radar compared to other streaming services like Netflix, but it offers a surprisingly strong library that includes shows like Poker Face and films like Wicked for less money. And now, new and returning subscribers can get a full year of ad-supported Peacock Premium for just $25 when they use the promo code Spring Savings. The article is by Sheena Vasani over at TheVerge.com. It saves you $55, but it's ad-supported. If you hate ads, then you're not going to get this anyway. The platform offers diverse lineup of shows from Yellowstone and the upcoming horror series Teacup to Saturday Night Live and forthcoming The Office spinoff called The Paper. I'm going to keep moving. I'm in a time machine and I'm going to have to get out of here. I've got an appointment. Mayoral duties. So the next article is over in the Wanted channel. Mysterious space object is pumping out a pair of signals that shouldn't go together. Detecting the object's unusual behavior felt like finding a needle in a haystack. The article is by Ellen Lapointe over at gizmodo.com. So a team of researchers led by astronomers from the International Center for Radio Astronomy Research, or ICRAR, in Australia found the object known as ASKAP J1832-0911 using the ASKAP radio telescope, which picked up pulses of radio waves emanating from it. This suggests that it belongs to a mysterious, recently discovered class of objects called long-period transients, which emit radio pulses over unusually long and regular intervals, typically minutes or hours. Since LPT signals were first detected by ICAR in 2022, only 10 of these objects have been documented, according to a statement. Well, this is the first time that X-ray emissions have been observed from an LPT. J18320911 emits radio waves and X-rays simultaneously for a period of 2 minutes over intervals of 44 minutes, exhibiting properties that are unique amongst known galactic objects and require a new explanation. So they're going to continue to research this thing. According to Wang and his colleagues, neither of these possibilities can fully explain what they observed from J18320911. Thus, this discovery could indicate that there are some new physics taking place, or that astronomers need to tweak existing models of stellar evolution. All right, let's keep going. This next article, and you can get all of these from the show notes when it gets posted over on YouTube and the podcast. They'll have the show notes as well. Just do a search for ohmTown or Non Sequitur News, and you'll find the podcast. The next article is over on the Marvel Channel. Nostalgic Disney Plus and Hulu campaign wants to give the best of both worlds. Disney campaign showcases series such as Hannah Montana, Lizzie McGuire, and the Golden Girls. This article is over at adweek.com, and I'm not sure how much of this I really care to read. It's more just entertaining to find out that Nostalgic Disney and Hulu are trying to pump up Hannah Montana and Lizzie McGuire and the Golden Girls. Bill Bradley put the article together. Starting this month, Disney Plus and Hulu are showcasing 90s and 2000s nostalgia in new ads, because that's everything from the 90s is back again, apparently. According to Disney, the campaign aims to provide themed content drops across the Disney Plus social channels, as well as Easter egg pins viewers can look for. They're partnering up with brands like Swimply and ThredUp over the summer, noting that it's bringing fan favorite 90s and 2000 locations and looks to life. And you can go and check out the rest of this article over at adweek.com. I've got two more articles, starting with this one here over in Mobile, a red dot, a 43,000-year-old fingerprint, and an out-of-stone place, potential evidence of Neanderthal pareidolia. The article is over at phys.org. Justin Jackson from phys.org put the article together. It was edited by Sadie Harley and reviewed by Robert Egan. There's a stone. It looks like a river stone to some degree of weathering, with what might be two eyes, maybe a nose and a mouth, but there's a red dot right at the apex of this kind of semi-triangular stone with much rounded lobes on it. Neanderthal symbolic behavior has been one of prehistory's more contentious topics. Much of the debate presumed symbolism to be exclusive to Homo sapiens. The capacity to convey meaning through marks, symbols, and images has often been considered a key distinction that separated modern humans cognitively from our ancient evolutionary cousins. Well, that may not actually be the end of this. So if the three indentations, two small and symmetrical, one larger and irregular, framing a central red dot, the stone, it features. The placement of the dot in relation to the indentations gives the impression of a symbolic face, but it's a bit of a squinter, not a well-executed carving or engraving, and likely it set off a pareidolia facial recognition at first glance. But there was enough evidence of intention that the researchers had to pay close attention to details that otherwise might have been missed. First, the red ochre dot placed central to the surface of the stone was not a mere natural occurrence. While little Neanderthal cave art is known to science, has often been painted with precisely this pigment and frequently included assemblages of dots. Well, this dot is being referred to as a, pardon me, dermatoglyphic image obtained by the multispectral analysis of the red dot. So this looks like a fingerprint. It has the lines and the swirl and loop and like processes of it. A 3D laser scan documented by microtopography, scanning electron microscopy, identified the ochre as red oxide applied without any binding agent, and multispectral imaging revealed a I said it right the first time, dermatoglyphic pattern in the pigment, later confirmed by forensic analysts, a human fingerprint, complete with ridge morphology, bifurcations, converge points. Let me hide that right there. So statistical modeling ruled out at random placement. Monte Carlo simulations gave it just 0.31% chance. And Monte Carlo is a style of statistics. Would somebody just randomly place something, plunk, and be done with it? So the red dot therefore seems intentionally placed on a carefully selected surface, potentially to evoke a specific image. Pretty fascinating. So just for reference again, this is the red stone, or this is the red dot right there. That's the fingerprint. Within it, it looks like it's right on the crest of a line, both horizontally and vertically. It looks like it's dead center if you were to snap a chalk line from the lowest point to the tallest point. But it's right on the middle of a ridge. And there's two indentations at the top that look like eyes, and this kind of a tiny little mouth down at the bottom that looks like a piece was chipped off. But it also looks like a mouth. Ugh. Anyway, our last article for today is over in Smack Talk. T-Mobile secretly records iPhone screens and claims it's being helpful. T-Mobile has a ridiculous feature on its heavily promoted T-Life iPhone app, which sends the firm screen recordings without permission and by default. The T-Mobile T-Life app will record your screen and send details to the company unless you stop it. T-Mobile is recording its users' screens when they use its T-Mobile Life app, is what keeps getting reiterated in this statement, in this article. It's over at appleinsider.com. William Gallagher put it together. And it says here, according to CNET, the company has responded to backlash from users claiming that the unannounced feature is for their own good. Quote, to help us give customers who use T-Life a smoother experience, we're rolling out a new tool in the app that will help us quickly troubleshoot reported or detected issues, said a T-Mobile spokesperson. This tool records activities within the app only, and does not see or access any personal information. Yeah, if you're recording it, it's recording the screen. Yeah, it's going to be getting personal information. Oh, pardon me. It's been a long day. However, the screen share is optional and off by default. T-Life's screen recording doesn't present any option, and by default, it's on. So they're basically recording 100 million, up to 100 million customers, I guess. I don't know how many they have. If the next line is to be, the trigger. So if this is an innocuous attempt to help users, there's one question of just how hard T-Mobile is pushing its T-Life app. It is intended to be one central app for all T-Mobile services, but there's more. According to The Street, T-Mobile retail staff are allegedly paid a bonus of up to $10 for every customer they persuade to download T-Life. And if the staff fail to meet targets for this, they are said to face unspecified repercussions. Oh no. So creepy all around. Anyway, that was the 10 of some interesting articles for May 28th, 2025. I'm going to try and do tonight's episode tomorrow. So the 29th on the day of the 29th, instead of the time machine making today the 27th. I'm going to try and do the 28th and 29th. I don't know. I'm getting lost now. Anyway, see y'all later. And I'm going to T-Mobile my way back to the front. Whatever. I'll see y'all later. Bye-bye.